doing?
Good, you?
Good.
Dana, what do you think of MMA in the Olympics?
Yeah, I think it's going to happen, man. It should happen. When you think about it, all the Olympic events, whether it's boxing, you know, you can box in MMA. Judo, you can do chokes and throws and everything else. Wrestling, you can do takedowns and slams, and you got Taekwondo where you can kick and knee and punch and elbow. I mean, why shouldn't this be an Olympic sport? Again, it's a matter of education, and you know, I hope it happens while I'm alive. I think it should be. It should be now. And it's going to take somebody to actually get in there and start to lay down some rules. There should be amateur mixed martial arts, and it eventually will happen. I don't know if it's going to happen while I'm alive, but I'd like to see it.
Also, what do you think of attendance records you're looking at for the Rogers Center?
Yeah, well, let me put it to you this way. This fight this weekend, we're breaking all the records for this Montreal fight with Georges St. Pierre. It's the most attended event in North America, which is going to be 23,000 plus. And it's the biggest live gate in mixed martial arts history in the world, which is north of $5 million, okay? So we're pumped about that. That's this Saturday. That record will be destroyed when we come here April 30th, 2011 at the Rogers Center. We will destroy that record. I don't know how big or how much it'll beat it, but I know it's going to be big. And understand this, you know, we don't get licensed till January, but we're feeling pretty confident that we should be able to get licensed here. So we're announcing that we're coming here. We have the date. We don't really have any more of the specifics on the fight. Who, how we're going to set this thing up, how many people. We really haven't dove into that yet.
Also, one more question. I'd love to work for the UFC. They're going to be expanding in Canada, in Toronto. What do I do to get a job with you guys?
You talk to this guy right here.
Better be nice to me.
Yeah, you talk to this guy right here.
Thank you for your time.
What do people do in Canada that want to apply for the UFC?
They send an email to UFCCanada.com, and they all will eventually come to me.
There you go.
That just is going to flood my inbox.
UFCCanada.com.
UFCCanada.com.
Hey Dana, really stoked for Montreal. Got my tickets, not asking for any free stuff. Basically, I know you guys have the UFC Vault, I know you have DVDs, but do you anticipate UFC fights coming onto iTunes anytime soon?
Yeah,
I think it'd be great.
We're working on that right now, actually. Not only we're working on putting fights on iTunes, you know, we'd love to have a situation where we can, you know, you can buy fights through iTunes and do things like that, meaning live events. There's a lot of problems in trying to coordinate and figure this thing out, but yes, fights are coming to iTunes.
The other thing is Mayhem Miller. I heard on Joe Rogan's podcast, he's got one fight left with Strikeforce. You think he'd be a good addition to the UFC?
Yeah, I think so. You know, he lost to Georges St. Pierre a long time ago. That was his last fight in the UFC, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Listen, we're always interested in bringing in the best guys in the world, so we'll see.
Cool, thanks a lot.
Thank you, man.
How's it going, Dana?
Good, how are you?
I have a question for you and a question for Tom.
Cool.
Firstly, what are your plans for UFC in the Middle East with Flash Forward Marketing, I believe?
Yep.
What are your future
yeah,
plans
we
for
were
it?
actually talking about doing an event down in Abu Dhabi again this year. So we're in the middle of figuring that deal out. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's growing down there too, getting more popular. You know, one of the crazy things about the culture in Abu Dhabi, you realize when kids start going to school there, jiu-jitsu is a required class. It's like math or science or whatever. So, you know, it's going to just keep getting bigger and bigger throughout the Middle East.
Very cool. Tom, I have a question for you. We all saw that you don't get what you don't ask for, and that guy kind of stole my idea, but I've been trying to get in touch with you since September, hassling people like Debbie Souza. I'm not looking for a handout, maybe just 10 minutes of your time before you leave here. Is that possible?
10 minutes of my time before I leave? Absolutely.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys.
Okay, I had two questions, but I think I'll just go with one because a couple of people scooped my other question. In the past, Dana, you said you'd be reluctant to book a stadium in a place like Toronto because you wanted to preserve the experience. What changed your mind?
Well, it's not that we're not going to do that here. And one of the things that really changed, I guess it changed my mind. I guess I don't know if that was exactly the term I would use, but I went to the Pacquiao fight down at Dallas, Texas Stadium, and I was blown away how because of the way the stadium is built, what they were able to do with a large crowd and how everybody felt like they were part of the fight. So we're going to dive into this thing here at the Rogers Center. I promise you, I guarantee you, everybody that shows up in this fight in Toronto, you will have the same experience that you've had at Mandalay Bay and all the other places around the world that you've gone, because everywhere I go, there's a million Canadians, no matter where we are. You will have that same experience here in Toronto, I guarantee it.
And Tom, can I have 3 minutes of your time after? It's diminishing returns, only 3 minutes.
I don't know your name.
Killeen Kelly. But don't put that, I kind of skipped out on work, so 3 minutes, Killeen Kelly if I just...
I'd be happy to. I think we got a question upstairs.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey,
I was like soccer fan first. Now it's UFC first. You know.
thank you,
And
sir.
Do you
Appreciate it.
think like 5-10 years from now, like UFC is gonna be bigger than soccer worldwide?
I do.
Me too, really.
Well, here's what I think, and this is my philosophy, and this is the philosophy that started this business. I believe that, you know, when you look globally, think about American football. In America, there's nothing bigger than American football. Hockey's huge up here. Soccer's big in many places all over the world. But here's the one thing that I believe. No matter what color you are, no matter what country you come from, or no matter what language you speak, we're all human beings. And fighting's in our DNA. We get it and we like it, okay? And here's another thing. And I can prove a lot of things and throw a bunch of stats and numbers at you. I have absolutely no proof of this whatsoever, but it's absolutely what I believe. I think that before a guy threw a ball through a hoop, a guy hit a ball with a stick, 2 men were put on this earth, somebody threw a punch, and whoever was standing around ran over and watched. I think this is the first sport ever, and fighting's going to be around for a long time, and it crosses borders, and everybody loves it. So yes, I think this will be the biggest sport in the world.
One more question. Are you gonna be across here for pictures and or no?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm in Toronto till Thursday. I'll take pictures with everybody in the city if they want to.
Hey Dan, how you doing? With the recent merger of the WC, a lot of smaller fighters coming in. They're known for putting on exciting fights. Is there a concern that some of the, the heavier weight classes start losing out on fight of the night bonuses and stuff like that?
Hell yes, and I love it. Yeah, exactly. And believe me, it's funny you say that, because every time we put on an event, I go backstage after the weigh-ins and I talk to the fighters, about the fight coming up. And I throw some information out, I'm telling them about the fights, and try to get these guys fired up to get out there and win that bonus. And one of the things I just said is that, get ready, you guys are going to go broke, man, because all these smaller weight guys are coming in. They've never had bonuses like this. They've never had the ability to fight in front of this many people. These smaller guys have always been exciting, and they're fired up to be here, and they want that money, man. So the bigger guys better step it up.